Mr. Button Flips! Mr. Button Flips! Mr. Button Flips! Mr. Button Flips!
Hello Year 12 and welcome to this walkthrough of Frost's poem The Tuft of Flowers. I'm attempting a different style of video today, where I've written down my thoughts on the poem prior to starting the recording. It's therefore likely that the pace of the speech will be slightly quicker and that you may need to watch and listen to this video a few more times than usual. I'll give you an overview of the central ideas of the poem and then try to walk you through how they relate to discovery. But we will continue with an in-depth technical analysis during lessons. What I'm attempting to highlight by doing this is how you should strive to integrate technical analysis into the argument without using jarring phrases like, in the quote blah blah blah, Frost uses the technique of a simile to show discovery. This way you will hopefully be able to make your argument flow and your thesis about discovery shine with its lucidity. In this poem, as in many other Frost poems, there is a movement from physical sensory experience to moments of metaphorical significance, concluding with a parable type of message, or almost an axiom at the end. It's interesting how Frost in this case manages to make the form reflect the meaning. The poem consists of 40 lines organized into 20 freestanding heroic couplets. The rhyming scheme serves to demonstrate the very paradox on which the poem relies. The rhyming couplets show a unity between the two lines, but at the same time each couplet is separated from the other lines of the poem. Hence the rhyme and stanzaic breaks assist in making the form reflect the poem's meaning on being alone while also being together. Unlike many of his contemporary poets, Frost valued meter and structure in poetry highly, and he had a particular fondness for classic iambic pentameter. In fact, he described writing poetry without meter as playing tennis without a net. In this poem, the perceived simplicity and natural cadence of the verse reflects the harmony experienced by the persona. Frost's language is very simple, using monosyllabic words and a casual conversational syntax, serving to diminish the often perceived formality of the pentameter. This poem was originally published in 1913 in Frost's first collection of poems, A Boy's Will. On the extended contents page of that edition, Frost states it is a poem about fellowship. On the one hand, the poem explores a sensory experience of one individual, but on the other hand, it explores the inner journey of the speaker as he reimagines his role in the fellowship of mankind. The speaker in the poem initially feels alone, an idea emphasized by the hyphen in stanza 4, which serves as a caesura to further isolate the word and force us to pause before reading that very word. The stress conveys the realization of the speaker that no one else is there. The individualistic perceptions are further enhanced by the choices of pronouns. In the first 12 stanzas, the speaker uses exclusively singular first and third person pronouns and refers to I, me, and my, as well as he, him, and his, to stress the disconnect between the individuals. This is then followed by a distinct contrast in lines 13 and 14, where he changes to first-person plural and speaks of us and ours. In the remaining 6 stanzas, the speaker reverts to the singular pronouns, but uses them to discuss his relation with others and to unity. Let's now move to a summary of the subject matter and what actually happens in the poem. The poem has 3 characters: a mower, a turner, who's also the speaker, and a butterfly. The speaker in the poem works as a farmer, turning the grass that has already been mowed by another man. We should envision a rural farm environment and the mower swinging a scythe, not using a loud 4-stroke petrol mower. The discoveries that are made are prompted by the necessity of carrying out his job, i.e. turning the grass so that it will dry and eventually can be gathered as hay. The second couplet contrasts the image of the keen blade to the image of the leveled scene in the aftermath of the mowing, which introduces a more somber mood. In the third couplet, the third couplet highlights the disappointment as the persona looks and listens for his colleague, but is unable to find him. The sense of being alone despite others being present, a key concept in the poem, is introduced in the 4th and 5th stanzas. Notice how the last line of stanza 5 whether they work together or apart, returns but with a different nuance as the very last line of the poem. The appearance of a bewildered butterfly interrupts the reverie of solitude and contradicts the sense of isolation. The butterfly is bewildered by the changes that have taken place in the field, and it is seeking to rediscover yesterday's delight, which turns out to have been cut down by the mower, and it flutters off in disappointment. The butterfly stimulates the speaker to momentary thought before he thinks of going back to the work at hand, turning the grass. It becomes a metaphor for the speaker's internal search for a past connection with the mower, another attempt at rediscovery. The butterfly reappears and reveals to the speaker the tuft of flowers. The discovery of the tuft of flowers the mower has decided to spare brings delight both to the butterfly and the speaker and unites the three characters. The same impulse of gladness that animates the mower also animates the butterfly and the speaker. All three appreciate the beauty and harbour a love of nature. The emerging realization that humans are always working together and that physical proximity is immaterial to fellowship concludes the poem in the imagined or real lunchtime conversation between the mower and the turner. Hopefully this overview has provided an entry point into the poem for you, so that you're able to start unpacking it further from a stylistic perspective. Please make sure you write down any questions or areas of disagreement and bring these to class for our continued discussion.